Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to draw an orthographic of this shape. If you're in my class, this is the first orthographic you're going to do. And what we're going to say is 1 block on here equals 1/2 inch in the real world, in the URL. So that's where we're going with this. I'll attach a link to this paper, and let's get going. So to do the layout, I've already kind of figured out what I think is going to be a decent center. We're going to start. I always like to make kind of an L to start. So I'm going to make my first mark here for 1 inch. I'm going to come up only a 1/4 inch because that's what we need to make it fit. So I've got a horizontal line and a 1/4 inch. I'm going to come across here with a construction line. See, nice and light, barely visible. And that 1 inch should be fine, I'm hoping. I'll go up, and we got to go up almost all the way on these ones. Now I am going to need 3 boxes of 1 1/2. I'm going to need a mark at 1 1/2. I need a mark at 3. I'm going to need a mark at 4 1/2. These are going to be, I'm just doing my front view first. So 4 1/2. 3. And 1 1/2. Alright, so I got 1, 2, 3 boxes there. And then I have my horizontal lines, which are going to be at 1 and 3. So 1 and 3. And I'm just doing all the lines for the front view first. Now, I know this part of the front view does not come over here at all, so I'm going to skip putting it over there. But I am going to extend it the rest of the way over because it will be handy. And then I'm going to come all the way over. Now, typically, if I'm doing this, I would move on to the next view, but I'm going to just darken in the front view for us. So our front view is done and clearly visible from the rest. So I'm going to darken in the lines we would keep here. So these are the lines of my front view, and I'm doing a very rushed job here. But these are the lines that we would want to keep with the front view. Get them all in there, nice dark object lines. 2, 3, and of course I got some nice dark object lines here. I can erase those construction lines later. That's the front view. The key is I want to get the other views. So I can either do the top view next or the side. I'm going to opt for the side. Now I know the gap I want between here. I believe I want a 1/2 inch, but maybe I just want a 1/4 inch. Let's see. So if I did a 1/2, bring me to here. And then I'd need 3 inches from there. 1, 2, 3. Yes, I'm going to do a 1/2 inch gap. That's why I did a 1/4 here. So, being that I want a 1/2 inch gap here, that means I have to have a 1/2 inch gap here. So I'm going to do a 1/2 inch gap. And from that 1/2 inch gap, I know I'm going to need a line at 1 inch and 3 inches. So I made a 1/2 inch gap. So gap between here and here, that's where my mark is. And then from that mark, I want 1 inch and 3 inches. And I'm just going to put in some horizontal lines going all the way up. Very light. I'm going to save myself some erasing because I know this doesn't extend to the bottom because of this box. It's just from the top, so I'm just going to extend this up. And I'm going to extend this one up. And then I can actually finish my side view because I've got all the lines. Look, I didn't have to draw any horizontals. They were there already. So at the side view, the top line right here, this is straight object, no problem. This line right here, that is a hidden line, so it must be dashed. And the bottom line, just going to throw that in there. We're going to go over here, and we're going to add a line down. Then we're going to do a hidden line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looks good, about even. And our final object line. So side view. So front view, side view, some extra construction lines. Now here's the trick with orthographic drawing and why construction lines are so important. If you take a 45-degree triangle, must be 45 degrees. 30, 60, 90 won't cut it. And you move that 45 to the corner of your front view and you make a 45-degree angle, construction line. If you extend from the intersection of that construction line over, you will put in the rest of your layout lines for this drawing. So just like that, I've got all my lines for the top view. And like from here to here should be 1 inch. If I go to measure it, I find that it is in fact 1 inch. And from here to here should be 3 inches. I find that it's 3 inches. So that is a handy drafting trick to save us time, and one of the great reasons to use construction lines and extend them out. It's also ensuring that our drawing lines up the correct way with the front here, the top, and the side all lining up. I'm just going in here to add the rest of my object lines in, at which point I have a great deal of erasing to do. Now, as I say in all of my drafting videos, I always... There's a hole in my drafting board there. No good. I always, when I'm drafting, erase my construction lines first. Like, I would have never done this object line thing first. I always take out the construction lines I know I'm not going to use, because if I make a mistake, it's really easy to fix. Sometimes, with object lines, you find that when you're erasing or putting in object lines, you go a little too far. Like maybe I went too far there with the object line, and that's just no good. You got to like start your drawing all over again pretty much. So I will let you guys figure out what to erase on your own. I don't want to take up too much of your time. What I will do is I am going to come here, make sure this is still lined up. I think I might have scooched it a little, but I'm going to put my construction lines here, an 1/8 inch from the top and bottom. And we're going to write in here, this is name, so your name. We can call this Ortho 1 for orthographic. The date. And instead of doing period for this one, we're going to put our scale in here. We're going to put the scale of 1 equals, what do we want to do? Let's erase that. We're going to say 1 block equals 1 or 1/2 inch. 1 block equals 1/2 inch. So that way we know from the sheet 1 block equals 1/2 inch on here. Okay? So let's get that all erased, straightened out, and then you are done with Ortho 1.